Shalom.
Kahaloyam la Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Racha Kodash, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash.
Shalom and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elder bishops and the elders in the Akim and the Akwath of the hopeful elect. Shalom. Just want to go into a quick video entitled Catastrophic Destruction is in the Air and in the people's thoughts, and their spirits. Because the Most High, He's bringing low the haughty spirits, the arrogant pride of the wicked and of the heathen, beginning with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, right, white race, and the evil, wicked, ungodly 2/3 Israelites that scoff at the truth. And everyone, the Most High he's in the transition is in full swing of transitioning this evil, wicked earth from from mirth and the house of joy to the house of mourning for them. And blessed is the hopeful elect that's been in the house of mourning this whole time, getting their house together, getting their spiritual house, their spiritual house together, their vessel, making their bodies a living sacrifice, Romans 12 and 1 through 2. And now, I'll get this precept about, seeing the downfall of your enemy in Ecclesiasticus 25 and 7. But right here, this is part of the inspiration for the lesson here is it's just more confirmation, just another nugget right here. A new album by that rapper Busta Rhymes. They still making music. He's been doing music for since the 90s or 80s. But he has another album here called Blockbuster, like a play off of his name, Busta Rhymes, right? So in the picture here, it says, not says, but it has a mushroom cloud. And what's that from? And what causes that type of mushroom cloud? A thermonuclear missile. And so, it's not a coincidence that he has an album cover like that, that's referencing thermonuclear destruction. Because never before, has artists had these types of images and imagery and spoke on these kind of things, but now the truth has filled the earth, even the lowest level, Israelite, the 1/3, the hopeful 1/3 elect. This is on our minds, all the time. But now the truth has flooded the earth so much till now it's everyone is feeling this, is know that something is about to happen, right? So it's just interesting to see thermonuclear missile, the mushroom cloud for his album cover, because that's the era that we're in now, the end times era, the era leading up into this thermonuclear destruction, to cleanse the earth of the wickedness and to deliver the elect of Israel, so-called Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians. So just wanted to touch on that. I thought that was very interesting and gave me the inspiration for this lesson here. So we'll go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach 25 and verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. It's catastrophic judgment that must go forth, in order to see, leading up as we're seeing his destruction and his fall, as we're seeing Satan as lightning fall from heaven, and heaven is rulership, and he's falling from his kingdom and rulership. And so, as you can see, people are walking around stressed out, as we like to say, they're through, because everyone was living it up, just a week ago, as figuratively speaking, everything was all great not too long ago for them, and they thought that this society would never fall in their pride. But the Most High is now beating that right out of them, and they're realizing something catastrophic is about to come, and it's right around the corner. So Isaiah 25 and 11, and he shall spread forth his hands in the midst of them, as he that swimmeth spreadeth forth his hands to swim. And then we know the people, the multitude of people are likened metaphorically to the sea. Shalaki, give me 1 minute. Shalaki. So reading on, it says, and he shall spread forth his hands in the midst of them, as he that swimmeth spreadeth forth his hands to swim. And he shall bring down their pride together with the spoils of their hands. So it's the Most High. He's beating off the pride of the wicked and the ungodly 2/3 that won't get right, and that's not in the house of mourning. And the Most High is transitioning them from the house of mirth and joy to the house of mourning. So from there we'll go to the book of Tobit. Chapter 2 and verse 6. And it reads, remembering that prophecy of Amos, as he said, your feasts shall be turned into mourning, and all your mirth into lamentation. That's what's happening right now. So, because the triumphing of the wicked is but for a moment, and the joy of a hypocrite, for a moment. And we know the hypocrite of the earth is the so-called white race, and everyone that follows and drinks the wine of her fornication, of her false philosophies and doctrines of, YOLO, you only live once, and, live it up, and the laws are done away with. But he says the Most High's laws are done away with, but then he will make sure that he wants you to keep his laws, though. That's the ultimate sign of blasphemy and a wicked, satanic God complex, as they say. Shalaki. So from there we'll go to Amos, chapter 8 and verse 10. And I will turn your feasts into mourning, and all your songs into lamentation. And I will bring up sackcloth upon all loins, and baldness upon every head. And I will make it as the mourning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day. So we know the scriptures are timeless, and it's a repetitive thing. There's nothing new under the sun. So what that means is what? The wages of sin is death. No matter what era we're living in, no matter what time we're living in, right? The wages of sin is death. And so, like the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, that was the ancient alphabet community, the ancient rainbow people, and we know what happened to them. So same thing in these days when it's times 1,000, right? So they're in the house of mirth, under their rainbow banners and under their guise of righteousness, of being, their righteousness is the precepts of men and being nice and kind, the what I call the smile culture. These Edomites, they like to, so-called whites, they love to smile, and they want everyone else to be like that as well. And when you're not walking around with a naive smile on your face, or being happy and being friendly with everyone, then they look at you sideways. As I experienced yesterday, I was grabbing a fountain drink at the gas station, and then I could hear laughter in there. A simple Jake, so-called black man, he was working behind the counter, and he was laughing it up with the Edomite, so-called white boy. In there, and as he was leaving out, I came around the corner with my drink. I have a stoic look on my face pretty much all the time. And so when I come around the corner, he had a big smile on his face, but when I come around the corner, that smile instantly turned to that smile instantly left his face. And so, it's vexing. It's not a good feeling for your brother to be so friendly, but the 2/3 are not our brothers, because what the Messiah said, he that doeth the will of my Father, he is my brother, my mother. So he's not doing the will of the Most High. He's a Babylonian. living. They love master. They love their master, right? But then they hate their brother, and that's part of the curses. Is I shall be evil towards his brother. But but yeah. So this place, they 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 hate a man that doesn't care to smile or care to be friendly and happy all the time. But that's why the Most High is beating down their pride right now. And so I just went to the other guy, the Edomite. He was actually cooler and more respectful than the other guy. And then I just typically I like to ignore 2/3 Israelites because it's a vexing place to be in, and they hate their brother. But anyways, reading on Amos chapter 5 and verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. In the same way, they hate your countenance. Even that's the Israelites. They hate the 2/3 Israelites hate being told what righteousness is and what wickedness is, and to repent and turn away from their wickedness. Same way that guy smile immediately wiped off his face when he saw me and my stoic no nonsense demeanor. But I'm very respectful and cool with all my brothers. That's real. That's they judge you from your look and not from your spirit. That's the carnality, superficial, surface level understanding of these people. And verse 16. Therefore, the Lord Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, the power of hosts, the Lord Yahweh said thus: Willing shall be in all streets, and they shall say in all the highways. Slack. Let me start over. Therefore, the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the power of hosts, the Lord Yahweh said thus: Willing shall be in all streets, and they shall say in all the highways, Alas, alas. And they shall call the husbandmen to mourning, and as such are skillful of lamentation to wailing. So, that's the era that we're in now. Everyone realized that the American dream was actually a facade, a mirage, a wall of lies to keep them in subjection under the order of the wicked elites and not after the order of Melchizedek, who is Yahweh Shah. Because that's why Abraham paid that tithe, because that lets you know that Abraham knew about the law, the oral law, right? Because he paid a tenth. He paid a tithe to the King Melchizedek, the king of justice, the king of righteousness. So, and that was Yahweh Shah. He just appeared. Very peculiar moment right there. So reading on, let's see. We'll go to Amos. We're there. Let's see. Now we'll go to Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. So most of our people, the 2/3, they're in the house of mirth. And we don't care to deal with those in the house of mirth. Like, I seen that Jake at the gas station that instantly turned into they're very hard toward their brother, right? But they're very soft and friendly and nice and kind and loving and tender towards their enemy, but hate their brother. And that's all good. I prefer it that way. I prefer to take this this walking road it makes the heart better because we're elevating in the spirit through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in the name of the Holy Spirit. So wouldn't have it any other way. So the Most High is beating down these peoples in their pride, and then when it's all too late, they'll foolishly want mercy then instead of seeking for mercy right now, storing up their treasures in heaven to be able to pull off that spiritual credit, because they're about to have this social credit. They're about to do away with the current credit score and institute and implement a social credit score. So people going to be sowing to Babylon to get that social credit score up, but we've been sowing to the spirit, getting our spiritual credit score up to be able to withdraw from that, to receive that covering and mercy, and to be provided for and eat and drink in these days to come. Ultimately, cashing in with that salvation through the blood of Yahweh Shah to receive that infinite mercy from Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shah. So Micah 4:1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, shall be established in the top of the mountains, and that goes into on top of all nations, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it. Okay, well that wasn't what I wanted to get, but that definitely flows with it as well. So that's the last days that's coming up. Israel, the elect, and the first fruits is the elect of Israel, are going to be uplifted and elevated with our head, Yahweh Shai. Those of the hopeful elect, Lord willing, I'm of that number. You know, I dare not make myself a part of the number because I don't know. But that's what's going to come after these people pride get beat down, the tribulation and the destruction, and then the nuclear destruction, and then the Messiah being established, and he's setting up his government, the 130 elect, right there with him. I think I want to get Malachi 4:1. Yeah. For behold, the day cometh, that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. So think about how hot an oven get. Would you want to get in that? So it's gonna be worse than that. That's a terrifying thought. So get yourself right, so you won't have to experience that. Saying that in the spirit, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So they're going to be destroyed, leading with the Edomites, the so-called white race, for their wickedness. Babylon the Great has destroyed the 2/3 of Israel and many people throughout the entire, and all heathen nations throughout the entire earth. But they're now realizing, they're waking up from that Babylonian wine, and now they're mad, and they're going to all burn up with fire. So we'll go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. And verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Most High Power Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And that's what we're doing, the hopeful elect, the prophets, elders, teachers, elder apostles, elders, and teachers. We're speaking the prophecies of the Holy Scriptures, because it's very simple math. The wages of sin is death, and this place is the most sinful in the history of mankind. So what's going to come? Death, destruction, annihilation of the wicked, of the sinners and evildoers. And they've been lied to by Christianity. They're saying that the law's done away with, but now they're about to suffer and realize in a horrific way, that they've been lied to. Verse 2. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. These are the prophets that written down the Holy Scriptures and wrote down the prophecies. Beginning with Moses, and then the rest of the prophets, and then up to Yahweh Shai, the Messiah, and the apostles that wrote the books of the New Testament. And they are faithful and true, because they will not fail. They're going to come to pass for a surety, and we're in that time, because the Holy Scriptures from the very beginning always speak of the last days, and now it's finally coming, that great climax, the great end of the heathen era of existence, to be followed by what? The infinite society and existence of the spiritual kingdom of heaven, under Yahweh's law, statutes, and commandments, enforced by the king of this realm that inherited all things, the Messiah, the King of Kings, Yahweh Shai. through the anointing and appointing of Yahweh with the elect of Israel, and then ultimately all Israel. Verse 3, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee, meaning their unbelief. Um, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, because they're going to be scoffing and scorning and mocking and disrespecting and insulting and disrespecting the truth. They're not hating you, they're hating the words that the Most High had written down in the prophecies. For verse 4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So know that, that's why I count it blessings when they begin to hate you, because the people that are against the truth, they're going to for sure be destroyed, and you're not. Just suffer their little low-level scoffing for a season and receive that infinite blessing of salvation. Verse 5, behold, saith the Lord Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Because we're going through all of that right now. The sword hasn't come down exactly yet, but the plagues, the famine is here, quote unquote, food insecurities that the devil love to play semantics and play games with the wording. Death is coming, since 2020, we know what that was with that particular virus. Death and destruction, and then that it's going to be destruction increasing more and more until that ultimate destruction of the thermonuclear fire. Verse 6, and why is that? Why is all this destruction happening? Verse 6, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So wickedness has now been fulfilled, and now judgment is about to be paid out. So the wages of sin is death. So sin has wickedly polluted the earth, and because sin and promoting sin and telling people it's okay to sin and glorifying it, right? That leads to hurtful deeds. The people are going to become hurted. They're going to hurt it. They're going to become hurt, and their works are going to become so terrible to us. It's going to hurt society, and it's hurting righteous living. So their hurtful works are fulfilled, and so now they've been their wages. They've been laboring in wickedness, and so now they're going to receive their payout. They're going to get cashed out, and their cashing out is going to be destruction and death from the Most High, in the name of His Son Yahweh Shah. All right, now we'll go to, drop down to verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter, and that's why we see our people destroyed, bugged out, living as niggas and thugs, and our women living as bitches and thoughts, boss bitches, independent women, thoughts, and all manner of whatever new age, new modern nicknames they want to give themselves. Hot girl summer, but I call it thought girl summer. All this madness. And they were led to the slaughter because they've been following after the Babylonian wine of Esau, the so-called white man. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. So, because that goes twofold right there. Egypt being modern day America, Babylon the Great. Babylon means great, means confusion, and this is Babylon the Great, meaning great confusion. And so the Most High is not going to allow us to be in the land of Egypt. Egypt means bondage, or house of bondage, slavery. So the Most High is no longer suffering us to no longer stay over here. So He's about to bring down the judgments to the two-third Israelites, and then infinitely bless the elect one-third Israelites with that salvation. So that's how He's not going to allow us to suffer anymore. He won't suffer us to be over here anymore. He got to wipe out two-thirds and go ahead and then beam up the one-third elect. And then we won't, and that way all Israel will not be suffering no more in Egypt and throughout the four corners that we are as well. So now drop down to verse 14. just something quick I want to touch on, precepts, and bring edification, Lord willing. So verse 14, woe to the world and to them and them that dwell therein. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And we see that World War III is actually basically underway, but the main two players have not entered into the arena, into the octagon, quote unquote, the MMA reference. They haven't gotten into the cage to lock horns. America and Russia, the bear Russia and the whore Babylon the Great, America. For the verse 15 again, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And so that also go as on the world stage, the world militaries are going to be fighting each other, right, in World War III. And then within those nations, the citizens are going to be coming up against one another as well. So it's going to be pandemonium on the macro scale, meaning every country's military is going to be battling and fighting it out. And then the citizens of every country on the earth are going to be duking it out as well, because it's going to be apocalyptic times that's going to be happening. Like the movies Book of Eli, that's one of my favorite, pretty much my favorite movie to watch and reference in regards to these times, because that's perfect analysis of what's going to happen. Because you're going to have factions forming, groups forming. You're going to have tyrants and dictator type leaders ruling, and even that show The Walking Dead, that's another really good one as well. And then Eli, who Denzel played, represents like the elect, right? The prophets, elders, and teachers, and then the rest of the 1/3. And he was provided for. It was a rough time, but the Most High provided for him, and he didn't lack anything. He had everything he needed to survive through that time. So Denzel, basically, the role he played was basically his representation of the elect in those times. So from there, we'll drop to verse, 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to, because, that's coming with the lockdowns and everything like that. And they're going to lock everything down. It's part of the plagues that's going to come down. Verse 20. Behold, because we've seen in 2020 that soft lockdown, how you have to have a hall pass. Basically, I call it a hall pass to be able to. You have to have a pass, an essential worker pass or whatever, to get to and from, for a short period of time when they had everything locked down. So, but now it's gonna be a hard lockdown where nothing gonna be going in or out, pretty much, and very little travel of any. Verse 20. Behold, saith the Most High Power, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. So, the kings of the earth, the wicked elite rulers, so-called elite rulers, wicked elites, they Most High is going to gather them up. He's stirring them up, and he's going to repay them. The wages of sin is what? Death. So that's what's about to occur now, and what's about to happen. Verse 21. Because they've been destroying the Most High's apple of his eye, the Israelites, and so now it's their time to receive their judgment. So now verse 21. Like as they do, yet this day, unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Most High Power, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. So that lets you know right there. That's why he's about to repay them the way they've paid us. We've been taken advantage of. Our wages have not been given to us. No slavery without compensation, right? And that's just the financial part. That doesn't go into the spiritual destruction of false doctrine that he's plagued our people with, right? And then with the sword and destroying us. So they're going to be repaid the same way. Galatians 6 and 7, the Most High is not mocked. What a man sow, that's what he's going to reap. So 2nd Ezra 16, chapter 16 and verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Assyria. So this going to basically the four corners of the earth. All of them have been doing wickedly, and the Most High is about to return that favor upon their own head. Verse 2, gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. That's sackcloth. Bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. If the Most High in Ezekiel 9 and 4, or in Ezekiel chapter 9 speaks about slay utterly old and young, women and children and maids, right? And that was for the Israelites that must be destroyed first for their wickedness, because the judgment of the Most High begins at the house of the Most High, his chosen. I mean, not the chosen, but the Israelites, the 2/3, and then the heathen receive their judgments too. So how much more the heathen that the Most High regards as a drop that fall from a drop of water that fall from a bucket of water. Isaiah 40 and 15. And 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 54 through 56. Okay, reading on. Let's see where we at. Verse 3. A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? And that fire, that first level of fire, is the main fire is the spiritual words of the Most High. That's Jeremiah 5 and 14. The words of the Most High is in the prophets, elders, and teachers, and the elect's mouth as fire. And then when the people hear it, they're wood, and they're gonna be burnt up by those words. And that's why they always scoff and get mad, because it riles up those demons on them, and they start attacking. And then the ultimate, and then that carnal fire is going to be what? Thermonuclear missiles. Verse 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? So the Most High is sending these plagues, and it's going to, for sure, the Most High word go without, not void. It fulfill that what he sends it out to do, and the mission that he has in mind. So verse 18. In the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. That's what's happening, the beginning of all this right now. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. And we know that the wicked elites, they're in great fear because of the truth that's going out, and then also because of the destruction that's following what the prophets have been prophesying. And the elect are awakening, have been awakening. And strong chance that the elect are now all awakened. Maybe a few more, are going to awaken in these last days, or it could be a good amount. Not quite sure, but the way the prophecies are coming to pass, clearly it's evident that the elect has waken up in a great number. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Because Ezra, the prophet Ezra, he see this, and he's really terrified at what's coming, what's going to come and happen in the last days. And that shows you reincarnation, aka regeneration, because he was living, he wrote this book about, what, 2,500 years, 2,500 years ago or so. So he's not, there's not, the prophet Ezra is not 2,500 years old right now. He didn't live from then until now. So how is he going to be delivered in those times if he lived and already had died in those times? Because he came back, he's going to be living again in the end days, experiencing this as well. And they knew it, and the prophets and the Israelites, we understood that. And even the other nations understand it. That's why the Chinese, the Asians, they have understanding of reincarnation, but they pollute it with ignorance, thinking you can come back as a butterfly or a different animal or species. But it's just through your bloodline that you come back. So let's see, verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So you admonish them, you warn them, and let them know what's coming, but they still gonna just scoff and do whatever they want to do in wickedness and not keep the law and not have faith. Not have faith first and foremost, and not show their faith through rehearsing the righteous acts of the commandments in the name of Yahweh Shah. So drop down to verse 33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, because a lot of these soldiers going to go over here in these wars, and a lot of their men going to get killed in these wars. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Because they're having no husbands. Their husbands are going to die in the wars, and then also over here in these apocalyptic times of the destruction coming down. The destruction of men destroying other men and other men's households. Verse 34, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed. See, there it is right there in the spirit. And their husbands shall perish of famine. So right there in the war, so those that go off to the war, they're going to die in the war. That's of a certainty. And their husbands shall perish of famine. So, where is that famine going to be? In every country's nation, their local nation. All the citizens are going to be dying of famine, and just like I say in the book of Eli, check that out. That's what's going to be occurring. Verse 35, hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. And the servants are the prophets, elders, teachers, and the apostles, the elder apostles, prophets, elders, and teachers, and the rest of the 1/3 elect. Lord willing, we're of that number. So from there, we'll go to Joel, chapter 2, and verse 11. And the Lord Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executed this word. For the day of the Lord Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai is very great, and very terrible, and who can abide it? So the Most High is going to utter his voice before his army, which is Yahweh Shai and the angels in the chariots, so-called UFOs. So the Most High is strong that executed this word. None of these things shall fail. They're all going to come to pass. So it's going to be a very great and terrible day that's about to come upon the earth. The great quote unquote invasion of the host of the spiritual heavenly army of Yahweh Shai and the angels. Verse 12. Therefore also now, saith the Most High Power Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting and with weeping and with mourning. So we must return to the Most High and fast and pray, and with all of our mind, spirit, and soul, so that we can be able to avoid that aforementioned destruction and catastrophic annihilation of mankind for their wickedness. Verse 13. And rend your heart and not your garments, and turn to the Lord Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, your power. For he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil, because the Most High has infinite mercy, and he delighteth more in mercy than destroying us. So he has mercy upon his elect. He has infinite mercy upon the elect, and ultimately all Israel, because the 2/3 are going to come back in the kingdom through the loins of the 1/3 elect. But they must receive judgment first. The book of Psalms, chapter 126, and verse 5. We'll start at verse 4. Turn again our captivity, O Lord. That means redeem us, because as Deuteronomy 28:68 says that no man will buy us, or no man will redeem us out of this captivity. So we're begging the Most High to return our captivity, to redeem us and buy us out of this place. We've been purchased through the blood of Yahweh Shai, but the blood now, it was before, it's for a future date, and that date is now to receive that salvation. Verse 4, turn again our captivity, O Lord Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, as the streams of in the south. Slaki, I'm reading too fast. As the streams in the south. It goes into a desert because we're in a desert place. It's destitute of knowledge, destitute of righteousness, which are the everlasting waters from the Most High, His commandments, where everything is ordered and structured through the commandments. But now everything is chaotic with the woman bearing rule with her K-beast, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Verse 5, they that sow in tears shall reap in joy. So we're in the house of mourning, getting ready to be transitioned to the house of joy for eternity. So I just want to go into that. The spirit of the catastrophic destruction is in the air and in the people's thoughts, and even to the lowest level sellouts like the Busta Rhymes and the celebrities, rappers, actors, entertainers of the world, and the citizens, the everyday citizen. They feel it in their spirit, and they're being transitioned from the house of joy to the house of mirth. So with that saying, I hope this video was edifying. The waters of the Rachak Wadash Bahasham Yahweh Shai for another video. To the next video, I say, Shalom.